Hello, and welcome back to the Firepreneurship Show. This is episode 47. In this episode, we will be going over the concepts in episode 46. So if you have missed that, I'd recommend you go back and watch or listen or read that blog article as it goes over some really helpful information about automating your content distribution. And so in this conversation with Dana, we're going to be going over more about the software that he uses with Turf Plus called SurfSuite. He's going to talk about his beginnings of switching from what he did before to what they do now with SurfSuite. And so then we'll be talking more about the benefits that automation has for your customers, how you can focus on them and their needs and improving your business in ways that will benefit them more. And we will talk about utilizing software that is a great place for you to have everything, or if not everything, most of what you do in one spot. Dana will talk about how that has really benefited Turf Plus. And then Dana will talk about a lot of improvements that came from moving to SurfSuite and how that has benefited Turf Plus as a whole and also customers, more specifically talking about the customer experience in this episode. And then we will be going over how to select the best software for you, like what kind of things to look for, and how to do your due diligence, do your homework to find out the best software for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Ready? Aim, fire.
Starting an ERP system really is a huge learning curve. In fact, I just talked to my brother whose company went with a new system and they had some major problems, which really cost the company some money. But once you learn how to use a new system, especially if you've chosen a good system, it really can improve the customer experience for you. So when you're trying it out, make sure you do it in a way that doesn't affect the customer experience. SurfSuite's program really helped us get better organized. We were organized, but the problem is we had to do a lot of things in order to find and fix human error that we don't have to find now. For instance, we printed invoices or work orders, put them on the shelf for the lawn analyst to do that work, and whatever they didn't get done, they would put back on the shelf. And so we had to do an inventory every single week to make sure that the customer's information hadn't been lost, meaning the work order, so that we knew that each customer's needs were going to be taken care of. By going to this new software, it's a lot more organized. There's no way to lose things, or at least the ways that you can kind of misplace the customer's workflow in the computer is easily found very quickly and without any disruption at all. The customer never knows that there was ever any problem. So by SurfSuite organizing us, we were able to focus in a much better way on the needs of the customer and less on the logistics of making things happen for the customer. It just automated it in a way that made it very comfortable. We knew that information was not going to get lost. Requests were going to be filled for the customer. The customer's needs were going to be filled, and that they would find the satisfaction that they're paying for.
All right, so yeah, those are some great things to look for in software. How does it affect your business as a whole? How does it affect your customers? As Dana was talking about, we need to make sure that making any kind of transition into something isn't going to cost a lot of money by things shutting down or not working. It needs to be done in a strategic way. If I remember right, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Dad, you guys, maybe for like the first season that you had Serve Suite, you were running both the old software and Serve Suite. Is that right?
Not for the whole season. Um, we did it the very last part of a season. We did both at the same time, meaning we were entering the information both ways. That was a little bit costly to do so, but it was well worth it. We knew that by doing so, the customer experience would stay top notch, and in fact, would go from good to better. Um, and then as we started the new season, we did it for like, oh, I think the first month or several weeks, just to make sure that if there was any problem at all, we would um, be able to solve those problems. We did it at the beginning of the season because we found that at the end of the season, we hadn't run it quite long enough to feel totally comfortable that the new system was going to give the customer experience that we were looking for. So we did it just as a backup, just to make sure, just to feel safe that the customer was not going to, have a bad experience and cancel. It's too costly to get customers to let laziness or uh, anything along those lines, anything that you can prevent uh, from getting in the way of a great customer experience.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good strategy to keep going with what works as you're making the transition so that you're not, again, cutting off things that previously were working and then stop working so that that customer service is top notch. And yeah, like you were saying, Dad, for you guys it was a bit more expensive to do it that way, but well worth it. Anytime we make decisions in business, we need to do it with the customer in mind, because if we put them through a bad experience, then we can lose a lot of customers, and that's even more costly in the long run. Now, in this episode, we're going to dive a little bit more into messaging, how ServSuite has helped with the messaging at Turf Plus, and just wanted to expound a little bit on that because it has a lot to do with distributing content.
The automation of it gives a lot more time to improve your articulation of the message of your message, and to help get rid of any misunderstandings that customers may perceive as they read your messages that you've sent out. So it really helps to take you out of the mode of of you know getting ideas of what you might say to the customer, and you can continue to improve the words. And you're always getting feedback from customers. Every conversation lets you know how they perceive what you're saying, and you can continue to wordsmith your messages so that the message is even clearer. Uh, so it's simple, it, it's clear and concise.
Yeah, that's awesome. Being able to take that time to focus on that, to focus on improving things for your customers is a great way to go for sure. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was um, having everything in one spot, one place, one platform. You mentioned briefly in the last episode about using physical maps and then Google Maps and then ServSuite. And as we were talking, we remembered uh, different software for the time clock for employees to clock in and clock out. and using Excel heavily for collecting data and whatnot. Talk about how transitioning to Serve Suite has helped the business as a whole, and also you as a manager, having everything in one spot. I'm sure from your perspective, being able to go to one platform to like check clock in and clock out times or look at data is very helpful for you. So help the business as a whole.
So much more organized. You spend a lot less time organizing and a lot more time just allowing those features, those tools that you have serve your customer. Um, so we were using Microsoft, Excel, um, Word, and Access. So we were going back and forth between these. Microsoft had a way to integrate them better than if we used spreadsheets from different companies, using it all from using these apps all from Microsoft was helpful, but still their software was fairly primitive in allowing those tools to work together well. And sometimes we were, working on one computer because our computers wouldn't talk well with each other. Those days are gone. We now are on the internet, so as long as you got good internet, which that's getting better and better as time goes on, more reliable, you have access to the information. In fact, sometimes I'm home at night and I need a little bit of information to solve a problem for Turf Plus or for a customer, and I have the information right at my fingertips easily, and I can solve the problem. And it's just a lot more organized, and it's a great improvement to move towards. There's always improvements coming down the pipe, and so it's always important to uh, keep up to date on those improvements, and as as needed, as it will improve the customer experience, move to the next step.
Yeah, that's interesting that you brought up being able to access things at any time, anywhere. When you first transitioned into Serve Suite, wasn't that like the end of 2019 and the next year was 2020?
Yep,
Meaning
crazy
COVID. Yeah.
times. Yep.
And during that time, you were able to make it so that the office could work from home, correct?
No, they actually came in most of the time, but they could. We did some time at home. We had to do, we wore masks and we did a lot of cleaning and stuff. Some did work from home. It gave us a lot of flexibility. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I wanted to emphasize that point because uh, doing business online, one of the great perks is being able to do it from anywhere. Uh, so it's a great idea to use software that is online so that, say you um, forgot your laptop on a trip and you need to check something, you can go to a library and still access it. So yeah, that's a great um, point to illustrate there. In our pre-discussion, we were talking about how one of the ways that Serve Suite has improved on your previous software that you were using is that you're able to like put in more extensive notes and whatnot, so that you were able to help your customers more. You want to talk more about that?
It was fairly limited before, and so our notes weren't as expansive as they could be. There were, lots of problems with that. As new customers come on, uh, I'm sorry, new employees come on, it is so helpful to be able to be give the customer the same continuous experience rather than have them feel like they're starting from scratch every time. The lawn analyst and the office can, read through those notes and know exactly what problems, what concerns the customer has had in the past, and so they know how to um, give that customer great service. We're always having customers that want the same lawn analyst come out, and they're hoping when they talk on the phone that they're talking to the same person. So it's real important that all the information is available to each point of contact, and that information is organized extremely well so that they can draw on it quickly and not make mistakes with the customer. That when the customer asks questions or when the customer calls in, they're calling in to people that know the situation and can address it quickly and resolve those problems quickly.
I know for me personally, when I call into a place that like I have a subscription or I'm a member or customer, and I call in and I have to go over the same spiel over and over again, that can be really frustrating. So it's awesome to have a place that the office can have those notes to be able to talk to the person as if they're continuing a conversation, or for the lawn specialist to go out and be like, hey, uh, I see that you've had these problems in the past, or whatever, however the script goes, or the conversation goes. But you're able to kind of be more personal with your customer, as if like even a new employee already knows the customer. So that's a great thing to be able to implement in your business as a whole. Just like with any business out there, we're always trying to adapt. We're trying to improve at all times. Always trying to compete with our competitors and do better. The same is true with the software that we use. So you need to always make sure that you're keeping an eye out with updates to know what changes are being made um, and how the software that you're using is improving or not improving. And Fairly recently, the same type of deal has been going on with SurfSuite, and so I'd like for you, Dad, to talk about that experience with them being bought and whatnot.
Yeah, over the last several years, SurfSuite has been bought out by two different companies. Each one has added some improvements, um, um, but in the end, have not optimized their product as quickly as they were when we first signed on with them. At that point, they were making changes very quickly for us, and I'm assuming for the other customers that they serviced. But as they uh, bought additional, or they were bought out, they actually bought other companies that they decided to lean towards rather than SurfSuite. And so over the last year or so, we haven't received the type of optimizing that we had experienced in the beginning. And so we're actually looking around for another company at this point. So it's important to always, know exactly where you're at. Look at other companies to see how they have optimized their products and see which one will um, which one has out optimized their competitors and which one will help your customers the best.
Yeah, definitely. As you're using software, which is somebody else's company, it really keeps you on your toes, as we heard from your experience there, Dad. Um, so, just kind of as the last question for you, and as the conclusion of this episode, you mentioned there a little bit about keeping your customers in mind, finding out what kind of software will best help them, best serve them. Would you please give any more advice that you might have on how to choose a specific software from all of the options that are out there?
The customer is your bread and butter. The customer is king. And I know some people think of that as in terms of, the customer can do no wrong and you do exactly what they want. And sometimes you have to fire a customer, or sometimes you have to move on. But it's critical that you run your company not having you as the bottom line as to how um, how much money it makes you. If you take care of the customer will take care of you. So, to me, in choosing any software or any kind of improvement for the company, always keep the customer in mind. Choose whatever you feel would meet their needs, fulfill their needs, solve their or give the solutions to their problems that they're looking for, and then charge what you need accordingly, and you'll do well as a company.
Yeah, I really like that. As you take care of your customer will take care of you. That's some great advice. So how was it that you came across ServSuite, and like what kind of things did you consider when you decided to implement ServSuite?
We checked out lots of different companies. We came back to ServSuite because it just filled more things, more can help the customer more than the other companies did. Uh, the routing was better. We felt like we could get to the customers a lot more efficiently, and efficiency for the company is lower price for the customer. So to us, that's very important. Um, there were, the communication was a great improvement. We felt like it was better than what the other uh, companies were offering. So we felt like our communication with the customers would improve. Now you're not going to find one one service that is head and shoulders above the competition in every way, but ServSuite fit the bill the best for our customers, and so it's the one that we chose.
Awesome. So there are some pointers from Dana about choosing a software for you. I want to emphasize the point that he made that there isn't going to be a software that is head and shoulders above all the other ones. We live in a world where competition is pretty good. People are good at competing with each other, and which is a good thing. So with that in mind, you just need to find weigh the pros and cons and find what's best for you. So yeah, that does it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Dana, for your time. And we'll catch you all next time. Our mission at firepreneurship.com is to help people like you achieve FIRE, financial independence, retire early through entrepreneurship. We offer educational materials like this podcast, but most of all, we offer outsourcing services to help you automate the business you started to bring you financial independence so you can focus on what you love the most about running your business, or if you want, step away from your autonomous business altogether and retire early. Thank you for listening to this edition of the Firepreneurship Show. To show our appreciation, we've created a page full of helpful resources for you and your business. To access it, visit firepreneurship.com/resources. Again, that's firepreneurship.com/resources. It's time we signed our own Declaration of Financial Independence.